Kanga man does whatever a Kanga man does. Spins a web, yes he can, because he's the Kanga man. Kanga man,
Now,
Kanga
now, can you sing it as Backwardo?
man, Kanga man. Well, anyway, everybody, welcome back to the Almost Sideshow. Today we are breaking down Breaking Bad. Terry, play the clip.
Breaking Bad.
Woohoo!
Season 2, episode 10. Over. We're not over with the show yet. We have a couple more episodes. But my name is Adam. Again, I'm joined with Terry. Really excited to dive into the 10th episode of the season. And it is called Over. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun one. See what happens after they just cooked a bunch of meth. Are they going to sell it? Don't get your hopes up. But anyway, they probably did, actually. Some of it.
Cue the Vince Carter, slam dunk contest gift. It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah,
but is it?
It's not.
Yeah.
No, this is over with a question mark. Actually, that's what it should be.
These are fun episodes because every now and then in the show, the action breaks. Like there's like this natural break in the action, and we get this moment of, well, now what? And that's kind of what you get here, and it's what makes it a great episode. So, shall we?
That purple dog got brought back up with 2 dead bodies this time. Heck yeah. It was a bad thank you party, I can tell you that.
2 dead bodies in Walt's driveway.
Yeah, and his car is messed up. Yeah, interesting. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, let's dive into this thing.
All right, let's do it. Breaking Bad, Season 2, Episode 10, and it is entitled Over.
Yeah.
Walt is feeling good. He's staying home, resting up, and getting restless. He calls Jesse to touch base and let him know he's nearing remission and that he is done cooking. Jesse is enjoying some downtime while spending some quality time with Jane. Even though Jane acts like she doesn't know him when her dad comes around. That's okay, she created a superhero to apologize. The Whites have a party to celebrate the good news. Walt is a party pooper, though, giving a sobering toast, then trying to get Walter Jr. drunk until he pukes in the pool. Skylar is struggling post good news and starts flirting a little with her boss. Meanwhile, Walt keeps himself busy with house projects. He replaces the water heater, he cuts out and replaces rotten floorboards. He's a machine. No one is worried about or thinking about the business of the blue stuff. Until Walt's last trip to the hardware store when he sees some guys getting ready to start a cook. Stay out of Heisenberg's territory. And that's it. That's the episode. That's all there was.
We got rot. Hey, we got rot over here.
Rot.
We got rot. See, no one cares. No.
Oh, a Jurassic Park reference. I love it.
That's the best reference to go with, man. See, no one cares.
Was there really rot? This is my conspiracy theory with this episode. Was there really rot? Because he gives that board to Walter Jr. and he's like, yeah, I don't see anything. It's wood.
Terry, you don't understand, man. You don't understand rot. You just don't know where to look, okay? Stop being amateur hour over there. You just don't know where to look. It's clearly rotted.
He gives it to him and is like, have you ever seen anything like it? And he goes, it's wood. It's wood. Okay. Anyways, I've got thoughts. We can talk more about the thoughts later.
And under flaws. Yeah, there's a couple questions I have too during this episode. We can bring that up for flaws and how.
There we go. So what were your thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, we got rot. That's like the best line, I think. We got rot, honey. We got rot. And I'm going back to work. I'm going back at it.
We got rot. Are you going to work today? We got rot.
Like have bacon and toast and some orange juice and we got rot. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good, definitely an interesting episode. We get some different dynamics here. this is the first time where I feel like, um, I don't know. I feel like there's something gonna happen with Jane. I have a feeling that either she's gonna get kicked out of that apartment or not that duplex that her father owns. And I was so worried about the father actually smelling the cigarettes on him, especially after
She smelled like cigarettes.
cigarettes. Yeah, there we go. Forrest Gump. Goodness gracious, here we go again. It's going downhill quick. Anyway, it's a TV show for crying out. No. So yeah, I thought honestly, I thought that he was gonna pick up on some of the drug use.
Episode with Kanga Man to Spider Pig.
Yeah, yeah, it was a high note of the episode. So, King of Man. I want to
Anyways, continue.
anyway. So honestly, I thought he was gonna get caught at the beginning of the and because there was a strict thing you can't use this stuff in there, and then
Mhm. DBAA, yo.
yeah, of course. Um, so yeah, then he does the pipe in the house too, and yes, she does slips the apology girl, and which I thought was a cute, way better drawer than Jesse, way better.
Yes.
Don't care if he was 4 years younger. Yeah, don't care about that. Way better drawer. So I think there's something going to happen there because um, if she's allowing him to stay there and he's using drugs, she can get in trouble for doing that as well. I would imagine, especially he being a hard ass. That's what's how she said. There's some interesting kind of relationship going on there. Actor looks super familiar from some reason. I honestly, he looks so familiar that I didn't even look up his name. I pulled a Zach here. I didn't look up his name, and I think I've seen him in something. What is it? Don't know. But I also loved
He's
that
a
he was
he's a Star Trek guy, if I remember right.
mm,
Like that's his
not.
biggest thing.
Mm,
I'll look him
well,
up.
may the force be with you, everybody. So
Well done.
yes, I love the hardware store stuff because that's kind of like where I'm at in life. That's that stage. It's like the hardware store is like your secret woman type of thing. It's like, yeah, that's where I go to hang out. No, just the hardware store. Am I getting something? Nah, not too much. Hardware stuff's fun. The Skylar storyline is, yeah, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. I think I called that a few episodes ago as well.
Mhm.
Uh, my wife's thoughts was that it was good, but she also doesn't like the Skylar stuff as well. She's like, I can see, like, she just seems checked out. That's what she told me before we sat down here. But yeah, super. It's a decent episode. I'm more curious about the opening than ever, and so what's going to happen with that? Who are those bodies and stuff like that? There's a crime scene going on, and the poolside sequence is probably one of the most interesting dynamics because it's like, why is he acting the way he is? And then the ending scene kind of reveals why he needs to switch, and he
Yep.
can't. Yeah,
It's a little bit of Heisenberg slipping out, right?
yeah, and that's what I was telling my wife. I was like, it's not he's his apol. Okay, we have to start diving into the best scene. And we'll just
Yeah.
bring. I'll just
Yeah.
okay. So, because I'm trying to bleed it together. So the best scene is the pool sequence.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I loved how he poured his son a drink. Okay. So yes, he's underage. It's one drink. Cool. Hank approved of it. I
Hank's
think
even good to go, right? Just don't tell your
Hank's
mom
good
about
to
this
go.
one.
Just don't. Yeah. Um, I actually really like that. And then you see where he seems off here, obviously, and his toast was also leading into that seemed really off. And then he goes into a second drink and a third drink, and Walt Jr. or Flynn is trying to keep up because it's definitely
Kept
not
up
Walt
with you,
Jr.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely not Walt Jr. drinking. It's Flynn drinking. That's what I told myself. It's like
I
he
like
he
that.
kind of had the little slouch. It's Flynn drinking. It's not Walt Jr. Flynn's cool. Walt Jr.'s not. But he tried to keep up, and that whole confrontation with Hank. It's my wife was kind of saying like, why is he acting this way? And I was like, I honestly don't know. And then you realize, obviously, if you're watching the show, you see he gets off on like the I may get caught type of situations,
Dangerous.
the dangerous situations. And now he's got a taste of it where it's becoming more, he's forming that habit of being the Heisenberg, and he can't turn off the switches easily. So he has to find ways to distract himself by having these nonsensical projects. Like, is it rot type of thing? Is it really rot? I get there was gray water and stuff like that. could be some gray matter in there as well. But so you can't turn off the switch of the Heisenberg until he sees that last guy, and then the switch really is fully turned on because he's kind of toying the water. He doesn't want to cook anymore. He's putting that past behind me, but he can't let a good thing die. So that's kind of where that kind of confrontation is. I dug it because there was some really like interesting stuff that happens, but I also have some big issues with that party too, and we'll bring up in for some flaws. So that's kind of my favorite sequences that liked a lot of it, but then it's like there's some that confrontation with Heisenberg. It's kind of I feel like it's a little more deeper than it just what it was portrayed as.
Well, and something else that you notice in there too is Walt. He's showing some contempt for the party just in general
Yeah, that's true.
because he doesn't he doesn't like that they're celebrating because he talks about that in his toast, right?
Hmm.
When I got my diagnosis, I said why me, and then when I
Hmm.
got the good news, I said why me. And he's kind of having this survivor's guilt in some ways, but also he was ready to check out. He was ready to be at peace with it all, and now he's not, and he doesn't quite know how to put those together. And then on top of it, what's the last thing Skylar says? The people we really need to thank for all of this
Yeah,
are Gretchen and Elliot. The ones that he feels are screwed him out of his own business and screwed him out of the millions he was deserved. They're the real heroes in this situation. And so everything just kind of puts him on edge. And the one thing I noticed is after she said that, he like downed the rest of the beer he had in his hand and was not didn't want to hear any of it. And you could tell just there's a lot of stuff going on right now that just have him off, have him on edge. And Skylar's kind of seeing the same thing. Like that's the whole thing she talks about with Ted is that the
it
good
doesn't feel
news
like
was
anything has
supposed to
changed.
change everything, and everything's kind of just stayed the same.
Hmm.
And Walt is kind of in the same boat. He was ready for one thing and now it's switched and he doesn't know what to do with it. Like that's why he beats the crap out of the paper towel holder in the last episode. That's why he starts drinking excessively and gets a 16-year-old to drink tequila with him. I mean, he doesn't know what
Worry,
to
folks. He's not really
do.
16.
Yeah, well, there is that. There is that.
Yeah.
But that encounter, one of the things I love about that is Hank, in that is all of us, and Hank
Hmm.
shows that yeah, he's a goofball and can make one mean margarita. But by the way, is the dumbest thing ever when you're done making the drinks, batter up. I mean, come on. And the look on his face after Skylar says one mean margarita, he's like, "Yeah, it's me. I make
He's like,
those."
yeah, let's go.
It's like Tom Hanks from Castaway. I have made fire. um, but there's another really random reference for you. But in that moment, he shows that there's a reason he's good at his job too. Like he can be the goofball. He can, and it's like, yeah, I mean, hey, go for it. You can. And then he starts pouring and say, whoa, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing, man? And it's like,
Yeah,
we're celebrating. It's like, uh, I don't know about this. And then he pours the
he's
third, and
16.
he puts his
Yeah,
hand over it, and he goes, it's like, and then he goes, I wouldn't do that one if I were you. And then he picks
yeah,
up the bottle and walks away, and then you have that showdown, and it's like, dude, let's just chill. You're done. And Walt doesn't want to hear anything of it. So you really like that's like the first time we see Hank versus Heisenberg. Like we've seen Hank and Walt kind of showdowns, subtle showdowns in some stuff. This was Hank and Heisenberg in a confrontation, and that's
yeah,
something we haven't seen to this point. And it is raw in how it comes off, which I just thought
yeah,
was awesome. And yeah, you're right. It's the best sequence in the whole episode.
yeah. A lot of good stuff going on there. If we had a runner up, I think it's definitely the closing moments of the show when he clearly just walks by and knows exactly what's going on there.
And
And by
starts
the
giving
way,
him advice.
yeah,
Can't help
gives him
himself.
advice. What? I'm like,
Uh,
That guy is not as cool as Badger, not as cool as Combo. possibly cooler than Skinny Pete, but not by much.
Not by
Uh,
much.
but let's look at it. Quicks, odorless, or not? What's that? Kills, odorless. He just has rot. He thinks he has rot. Who
Mhm.
knows?
The
Um,
other one I had as the runner up was Jesse and Jane looking at Jesse's drawings
yeah, that's a
and
pretty
and
ridiculous.
all his superheroes and she's impressed and he's going through them and I mean it is the exact opposite of the pool scene because it's just sweet and
It's pretty cool.
innocent and let's talk about how silly we are in how we like to draw random stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Well, considering too that's what they're bonding over, and I think that's why he brings out the sketchbook because she draws tattoos, which is
Hmm.
kind of nice. So good little touch.
All right, the Ken wins douchebag award.
Walt, the pouring the tequila over on Hank's hand. It's pretty
What kind of
douchebag.
tequila was that? Do you think?
Not the
All
one
we
with the
saw
worm
was
in
the
it.
yeah. Yeah. All we saw was the back of the label. We didn't see the front of the label. I don't know.
Yeah, Albuquerque's finest.
I was gonna say usually the good stuff doesn't come in gallon jugs. So
Yeah, unless they go to Costco.
yeah, I'm thinking Costco, maybe some Cuervo.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
it's like Kirkland.
my
It's Kirkland tequila.
there we go. Hey, Kirkland tequila ain't bad.
It
Don't
ain't bad. No
don't
bad.
crap
Not
on
digging it.
Kirkland tequila.
No, it's
Uh,
great.
my Ken wins douchebag is Jane for
Oh, that's a good shout.
just
Yeah,
so standoffish in that like she switches gears back and forth and then the follow-up scene when she comes back it's like what
what?
I'm
Yeah,
doing you a favor in this
we're not
and
together. There's no you
yeah
and
it's
me.
like we're talking
Mm.
about me and you it's like what's me and you and it's just you feel for Jesse right there.
Which means that Jane is the ultimate stickman because there's no you and me, and Jesse's getting emotions, and Jane's like, "I'm just using you for that."
That is I mean he does have a bed now so
Yeah,
yeah
that she.
that's a good
Yeah,
point. That's a good
yeah.
point. My stick man is Ted because
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's clearly Ted. Yeah,
he is working that situation for all it's
yeah,
worth.
yeah.
Um,
And I guess you could technically. There's a good comparison here: a stickman and an anti-stickman in one sequence. Clearly, Walt knows how to handle wood, and Walt Jr. does not. He sees that
oh,
this wood is completely diseased with rot, and I'm still, what this is. Nothing, I don't see anything wrong with this, Dad.
yeah, yeah. Well,
I don't know.
obviously there's something wrong. That's a good call. I was gonna say. I mean, all Ted by the end of it, he's got Skylar flirting with her. He holds her hand, and I mean, he tells her he'd eat her churros anytime. So, uh, it's
Oh, I forgot about the churros, but I really appreciate the innuendo. And it makes me feel like I should have had that. Damn it! But great call there, Terry. I would eat your churros anytime.
all
Oh,
right.
I love it.
Best new face. Hey, that's Danny Trejo. So now let's talk about this guy, Jane's dad.
Okay,
I
yeah.
looked him up. There's a reason he looks familiar. His name is John Delancey, and he's been in a bunch of stuff. Let's see here. Where did that list go? I lost
Googling
his exact
stuff on the
name.
fly.
No, I had it here, and it just disappeared. Yeah, stupid, stupid phone. Okay, all right. So he's been in a ton of stuff, but he was in were you ever a Star Trek fan?
Certain movies. I've seen all the films, but that's
Okay,
really
not
what I've
he was
seen.
in one of the TV shows. I think he was Star Trek Generations with what's his name? Um
Star Trek Generations was
Patrick Stewart.
yeah, it was a movie that had both Patrick Stewart and Captain Kirk in it. It
The Next
was
Generation. Yeah, I think he
the
was in
next
Next
oh
Generation.
the next generation. That's what.
But the reason I said you should know cuz he was in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, I just saw that.
You
Tom
did just
Jones
watch that. That's what I'm saying.
and Bryan Cranston also was in it.
He was? I don't remember
He
that.
was the one that he was the second person who got the letter that there was 4 Ryan brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I have to rewatch Saving Private Ryan, I guess.
You
So
should.
let's see here.
Great.
Saving
Check out my
Private
review
Ryan.
coming soon.
Oh, he's billed as letter reader in Saving Private Ryan. I don't know what
Letter.
a letter reader.
Is that the hmm, could be that guy. I don't know. That could
I don't
be
know,
the
but
letter
he's
reader.
yeah. Anyways,
Interesting.
so
Whatever.
he's in a few things that you may have seen, but yeah, he's one of those guys that I feel like oh yeah, like it's a perfect guy for this list because you don't necessarily know what you know him from, but you know him like that guy. Hey, there's that
Hey,
guy.
it's that guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
easy to pick out John Hamm and other
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, recognizable faces, icons in the industry, Merlot winners or Pinot nominees. I meant sorry, Pinot
Yes,
nominees.
yes, yes. But this guy is the true spirit of the list. Yeah.
True.
Okay. The Gomi Minor character goes to
The hardware store guy who's like, "Oh, that would cost you about 12 grand, $1,200. Yeah, this is some good ones, man. Some buttes, as he says. Definitely a midlife crisis term, right? If I ever heard one. Some buttes. Yeah,
uh
that guy.
yeah,
So
all that
I got
scene
the
needed all that
yeah.
scene needed is one of the guys that from the commercial where they're turning into their parents, the Progressive commercial.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just needed one of those guys to come up from behind. Like that's all that scene needed.
So the guy reminded me of Jim from the Tacoma Home Depot who sold us our appliances, our brand new appliances. So shout out to Jim from Home Depot. Great guy. Get your appliances from him. Definitely the hardware store guy. They were some buttes of appliances. So thanks, Jim.
I
There
like
we go.
I like it. My Gomi Minor characters are the new cooks that Walt runs into. Um,
Amateurs.
First off, okay, the the guy in the hardware store that's got the shopping cart. I don't know. I feel like he's like the worst possible actor they could have picked for that spot because he looks like he does not belong in the punk getup that he has. Like he looks like he's like 20 years too old to be dressed like that. And
Drugs will change you, folks.
I don't know. I don't know. He just looked. I don't know. It just was.
Yeah.
It's just a like when it pans to him. I'm like, what? What is that?
You got a beer gut. Like, what are you,
Yeah.
30?
Yeah. He looks like he's 40, and he's got the jet black, hair with the beanie, and it's like, dude,
he,
what are you
he's like
doing?
he's like the equivalent of Creed dyeing his hair black, trying to be way cooler than he's actually is.
Yeah.
Creeping me off. Yeah,
It is a. I think he is a midlife crisis moment.
that's a
Um,
good call.
and
Yeah.
then the guy in the uh in the parking lot, who I mean, yeah, he looks like this somewhat jack guy, but he's also like 6 inches shorter than Walt. It's like what is wrong with these two? You've got this giant white guy who looks like he's 40, dressed like he's 20, that is that is a wimp, and then you've got this guy 6 inches shorter than Walt, who's the muscle. What is going on here? They really don't
What
know
is
what they're
going
doing.
on?
What is going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. But it was kind
No.
of funny to see, and the fact that Walt felt like he could intimidate them and did, it
And
is
did.
is pretty
I was
great.
like, this ain't gonna work. And I was like, what's he gonna say? He's like, I'm Heisenberg. And then
Yeah,
I thought that's what I was gonna do the last line of the episode. And that's what they're gonna back down as, but they didn't. He didn't say that, which is
I'm
crazy.
Heisenberg. Not I'm Batman. I'm Heisenberg.
I'm Heisenberg. I am vengeance. I am no
But
okay anyway.
I think in that moment though, you kind of get the idea that he's saying, I need this. I need this bad side. I've gotten the bug too much. Because he starts by just like, dude, you're doing this all wrong. You got to do it this way. You got to do that. You need this. You need this. And then the switch kicks, and he goes out. Stay out of my territory. He's like, I need Heisenberg. I need this. I'm not done. I think
Mhm.
that's what it feels like in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. The cow house. Dumbest thing said.
Kanga man does whatever a Kanga man does, or rewindo. Like, that's another one.
Yeah, which one's better, Rewindo or Backwardo? I like Backwardo.
Backwardo is way better. Backwardo is way better.
I'm pulling from the exact same scene when Jesse goes, "Man, I was a kid. It was like
I was,
4 years ago."
my wife's like, 4 years? What the hell?
He's not that far out of high school, so
Technically, partay. It's gonna be a partay.
partay.
Got some real buttes. Yeah, it's another one. But
Got
yeah,
some buttes.
got some buttes.
Batter
I,
up.
I don't mind that as much. I think
Yeah,
it fits his character.
it
I don't.
does. It fits him.
Sit and
It does
spin,
fit him.
folks. Uh, it
Yeah.
fits it.
Now, okay. But the one thing he did say, I was like, dude, grow up, is when he was telling the story of Tortuga. He's like, Tortuga, and he couldn't think of the word, and Walt wasn't listening or paying any attention. He goes, "It's beaner talk for turtle." Like,
That's pretty good. I didn't catch. Well,
you're
yeah, I caught
you're
it. I
not
remember it now.
you're
Yeah,
you're yeah. Can you show just the slightest bit of sensitivity? Nope, that's not Hank either.
yeah, we get rot. Yeah.
Okay. Problems, outdated,
All
all
right.
that stuff.
Well, I said my outdated kind of stuff for the worst things said or stupid partay, buttes,
Yeah.
old sayings. We get that. Flaws. What type of diner was that, by the way? That Jesse and
Ooh, good
Walt
call.
was. What type of diner was
I
that?
don't know. I don't know.
A
It could
cafe.
have been
It's
a
like a.
diner, or it could have been a diner. It could have just been like a fast food joint too.
It could have been a freaking gas station with like a Skippers inside of it.
Oh yeah, that is kind of what it looked like.
Yeah.
I
So
like
I'm
that.
like, what are they like? What are they eating? It's definitely not that hot dog place that sells nachos.
Skippers, good pull.
Yeah, it's what
Pull.
it looks like. Yeah, it looks like a freaking like little gas station, little eaters
Mm-hmm.
sectional. I don't know. Why is Gomi at the party? And first of all, who are all those other people at this thank you party? First of all, we never. Well, we saw. Actually, wait. I just answered my own question. Gomi and Walt did have an interaction first episode of the season, but to that, we don't know that they're friends. Is he just there for moral support for Hank? Like, why is Gomi
Yeah.
there?
Well, Gomi was at the birthday party. He was at the birthday
Oh,
party
yeah,
in the
so
very
there was a
first episode. Remember, he had a surprise birthday party in the very
yeah,
first
for a
episode.
first episode. He didn't want
So
surprises. Yep.
yeah, he was there for that.
I was just
I don't
thinking
know.
about
You
Ikram
get
too.
you kind of there's a certain group of the family friends that get together when stuff like that happens. The only other person I recognize there, Principal Carmen, was there.
She was there because I was gonna want. I was like, "Where's the principal there?" Because that's the one that should be there.
Hmm. The onion that
Yeah,
makes him want to cry.
yeah. I didn't know what. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, so we were going to talk a little bit about the rot. We got rot.
Yeah,
Um, okay, so I this is like total like metaphor, I think, in this episode because I don't so the whole thing is there actually rot? My thought is there's not. There's no rot underneath there. But what's Walt doing? Walt is trying to purge himself of this dark side. He's trying to cut out all the crap. And because he's sitting at home, he's got nothing to do, and he keeps feeling Heisenberg pop back up. And he basically takes it out on the house. It's like the house is tainted. I need to get rid of this darkness, and it's going to get it out of me. And so he sees rot. He sees that the house is falling apart, and he decides to try and physically rebuild what is relationship wise and falling apart, and what is himself falling apart and diving deeper and deeper into this darkness that he's getting.
Mm,
And so he tries to cut it all out. And then how does it all end? He can't. It's there to stay.
yeah, good call. I know that obviously there is a spot that was rather soft in the wood, right? Because it's from the
Yeah,
hot water tank.
but that was
The
in the
top,
floorboards, not in the
yeah, not.
support beams under the house.
So you
And
know what he's doing,
that's
which
what he shows Walter Jr. and he goes, "This looks fine. I don't see a problem."
so based off your answer, you kind of through you basically said no. What you're thinking, Adam, is wrong. Um, what I thought he was doing was freaking trying to find a better spot to hide the money because the freaking Finch system sucks. It's a stupid place to hide
Well,
the money.
that's a
Yeah, I
valid
will
point too.
always go back to. I was always going back there, and that's why I thought I was like, he's going to make a little compartment where he can just pop open, throw some money in a spot, and no one's going to realize it's there. Much better spot than a Finch system. I don't know, but also hiding the money with a cell phone is also a good deal. Thought of another one here. He was so concerned about Skylar checking the phone bill, and it's been a long time since I've had a landline, so I might be just acting stupid here. Doesn't landline track the phone numbers too? Because he called Jesse from his landline. Now it's been a long
Yes,
time, so I can't.
but he called quick and hung up. Maybe it doesn't track if the other side doesn't pick up. So that's why he called and hung up so that he knew to call him back. And then
Okay,
it's a
internet,
call
let us know, please. I don't.
and it's a call
It's a good
in
point.
instead of a call out. I don't
It's a
know.
good point. But that's what my thought
And
went to. I was like,
maybe
wait a
he's
second.
thinking, "Oh, if this is the case, then I could chalk it up as, oh, I accidentally dialed the wrong number and the wrong number called me back." And I just answered and said, "Oh yeah, sorry, I dialed you. I dialed you as a wrong number."
Well, I guess it could be like, oh, he called Jesse's burner, not the yo 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 to whatever, to the 5 to the 6 to the 9 phone number,
Yeah,
voicemail, whatever.
whatever it was.
Yo yo yo. Get a
uh,
message after tone.
all
Yeah,
right,
good stuff.
midlife crisis moment.
Whew.
I've got a couple
Spending
of
a
them.
lot of Yeah, me too. I'll do one first. Spending a lot of the time at a hardware store.
That is a
Okay,
good
my
one.
dad, he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go cheat on your mom." Went straight to the hardware store. Didn't really say that. My stepmom would say that he's gonna go visit his other wife. That's how she would phrase it. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm over here at my other wife's house." He was at Home Depot,
That's
essentially every
funny.
single time. Yeah,
That's
that's how they
funny.
spun it.
My wife is more the handyman around the house than I am. So I don't relate
She's got
as
exciting
much to
nicknames.
that one. I don't relate as much to that one, but I do appreciate that that sentiment there.
Yeah.
Um, mine is going on the other side of things. Um, how nice did it sound to hear Skylar walking out of the room saying you get brownie points for taking a nap? It's like, oh, that sounds really good right now. Um,
Nap
I
and brownie points.
Yeah, yeah, especially if the brownie points are actually brownies.
And it being encouraged, hey, good job. You took a nap. Here's a brownie.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
what a dream world we
Mhm.
would be living in.
I
Uh,
know.
okay. Another one that I have is when they're looking at the hot water tanks. He's like, and the energy savings alone is like, it's amazing. Like worrying about the energy savings and cost of that again goes back to cutting costs on everything.
Knowing all the unnecessary stats on the water heater that nobody else cares about or knows what they
Sounds
mean.
great. Sounds great, Dad.
Sounds great, Dad. Um, the other one I had written down was the irresistible uh, free workplace food. Like we joked about I'll eat your Cheerios anytime, but I mean, you could tell Ted in that moment was just like, "Oh man, Cheerios! Somebody brought in food. All right."
Yeah, I have to stay out of my office because sometimes there's like a freaking Halloween time and stuff like candy, freaking candy jar. I'm like, ooh, I don't need the candy. Ooh, is that peanut M and M's? Ooh, I don't know.
At,
Stay away from the candy jar.
after
I bet.
school today, I got an email saying, "Hey, there's cookies in the office." I may have been in the office within like 5 minutes of that email getting sent. Um,
This. This conversation reminds me of a Jim Gaffigan stand-up special, and Jim Gaffigan, you know who that is, correct?
Yo, yeah.
Jim Gaff So he's like, "You know what brings people together? Birthday cake." He's like he's like, "Hey, Jim's Todd's celebrating a birthday." "Oh, I hate that guy." "Cake's in the break room." "Oh, I might as well stop by." Cake brings people together. Yeah, you
Cake brings
gotta
people together.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. I like that.
yeah, yes, you have to do that. That's a great one. Um,
You have any
and Todd
others?
Yeah, Todd will appreciate this. Your just pure drink making abilities are so fine tuned to that point because
Mm,
we're making margaritas, we're making whiskey sours, whatever. He's making his own beer over there. He's putting down tequila shots.
Trader
There's
Brown.
definitely yeah. So there's definitely some drink making skills available. He can't bottle it worth a damn, but he can make it. So
Valid point. Valid point. I like it. All right. LVP.
the 2008 economy.
Uh,
So okay. I only mention this because it doesn't like, oh, they never mentioned that in this episode. They did when he was out like that breakfast scene. We got rot, honey. Back at it. That breakfast scene on the TV because I have the subtitles on for
I
some
had the
reason.
subtitles
They're
on too.
they're talking about the 2008 economy and why the housing market's crashing.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, the 2008 economy. I had Kangaman, but it's not as fun because we've already referenced it too many times. But uh, yeah, the 2008 economy, LVP moment there. It sucked. We lived through it. Got laid off back then, so good times.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
All right. My LVP. I've got Jesse's egg cracking skills.
Oh, this
Um,
we got shells. We got shells.
but but MVP, like low key MVP. How cool is that? Like clear Pyrex frying pan.
My
Like
wife pointed that. She's like, "That's a cool pie, and that's a cool
that is
pan."
that because. And I remember the first time I watched this with my wife, she was like, "That he's just using a Pyrex on the stovetop." I'm like, "No, it's legit a fry. It's got a handle on it.
Handle.
It's a
He was holding
frying
it.
pan."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of my LVPs, is his egg cracking ability, but low key MVP is the pan. My other
And the dish
LVP.
that he was making, that dish is delicious.
Mhm.
The rancheros or whatever. Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, we don't need the extra protein though. Um, the my other LVP is Walter Jr.'s aim. I mean,
Oh,
why'd he have to
throw up.
puke in the pool? He had a whole backyard.
He had bushes.
He had
Like, come
bushes.
on.
That's where the rest of his first drink was. Why did he puke in the pool?
It's right. Just throws the dumps out the ice and his soda pop. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, good
Uh,
call. I
yep,
like how I do all my hand motions off camera so no one can see him, and it's not
exactly.
even. It's a
And
visual
it's an
gag off
audio medium.
camera.
It's an
It's
off
not-
camera. It's an off camera visual gag
I
on an
might have just
audio
was be
medium.
sitting over there and just
We're-
like talking. It works just as well.
We have reached a new level of degenerate here.
Don't worry,
Okay,
Adam will find it.
MVP. My MVP is Walt's DIY skills. I mean, how does a
Pretty
chemistry teacher
solid.
know how to do the plumbing to replace a water heater and then know how to do the carpentry the right way to remove rot from the crawl space under the house? I mean,
Hmm.
that's some
It's
impressive
legit.
stuff there.
It's legit. Yeah.
And Jesse's
What? Jesse's what game?
pan. Jesse's frying pan.
Oh yeah, yeah, gotcha. Well, I'm gonna go with the dish that he was making, minus the shells. That's an MVP. That's my second MVP. The first one is the switch. The switch of just turning on full Heisenberg this on the spot at the end. The switch. So perfect. Really like it. Now he wants to go cook now. Yeah, matchbooks, the individual packets. You get so many more, striker packs on those. Not just one.
Mm-hmm. Strike
Tons more.
plates, yeah.
Striker plates, yeah. So that's my MVP. It's the switch.
I like it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about what
Also, let's mention this too. We haven't really talked about the making of the show, but the editing here, so many awesome transitions where they have the dripping water from the pipe transitions perfectly into a tea bag going into ground.
uh,
That's great. You also there was
the
there's a
saw
couple of
to the vacuum.
the saw to the vacuum was awesome. So many cool transitions. Like it's flawlessly transitioned. So
That's a
that's
that's
what
a good call. That is a good call. The editing in this episode is pretty awesome.
yeah.
Okay, before we get to what you think is going to happen next, we forgot to do
You
this
missed the
last
body count,
episode.
dude.
Yeah, so let's get to this. So the Walter White body count has changed a little bit since the last time we checked on it. It is now true 2 drug dealers, 1 car, 1 custodian's career, 1 drug dealer's hideout, 1 lock, 1 uneaten burrito, 1 paper towel holder, and 1 hot water heater. And the Jesse ass kicked count remains at 5. However, his heart did get stomped on in this episode, so that's kind of a
Yeah.
slightly that's an emotional ass kick.
It's
So
a,
you
it's
could add that in, but we're gonna leave it at physical.
it's a light bruising. No.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
All right. Where are we going next?
He's not a good handyman. That house blows up with that hot water tank, right? I'm like, this
don't
is house
know.
blow up. I don't know. There's a lot of debris everywhere. Well, no, hold up. The house doesn't blow up because they showed those guys in full masks doing something. Something happened to this house. There seems like a lot of ash. So there's a fire that breaks out, right? 2 dead bodies. There's only 3
But
episodes
which
left.
2 dead bodies?
Combo and Skinny Pete.
Ooh. Okay.
Now that I've said that, I feel like that's verbal diarrhea or a vomit. Because I don't think that's going to
Aimed
be
in the wrong
good.
direction.
My heart was in the right place because I like those characters. I don't want that. I could see it could being somebody important because I don't see them showing that as if they're nobodies.
Okay.
You can see that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's where I'm at. And then also there's going to be Skylar and what's his name? Ted Beneke. They get it on, obviously. Stickman. So that's gonna suck. Or Skylar gets the best of it. I don't know. What else did I have here? Well, I don't know. He's gonna try to go back on his word, and they're gonna start cooking again, obviously, after they sell a bunch of stuff. But it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on. And there's gonna be more Saul. So hopefully next week there's a Saul reference because I did miss him in this episode. So
Yeah. Yeah, we've got 3 episodes left in this season.
mm-hmm.
And it's
episodes.
got it. It's gonna be crazy. Oh man.
So out of the 2 seasons I've seen so far, this is my favorite season.
Okay.
Keep it
All
going.
right. Yeah, I know where it goes from. Oh man. Oh
man, Adam, you're an idiot.
This
you don't
is
even know.
no. This is with only 3 episodes left. This was definitely the calm before the chaos that's going to finish this season. And
nice.
it's
So this is the episode. Yeah. Okay, I got
can't
you.
wait
This
for
is
you to see where it goes.
Nice. Good. Okay. Well, good.
All right.
Nice.
Let's do it. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, everybody, that is our breakdown of Breaking Bad season 2, episode 10 over. And this is how we end the episode while it being officially over today. This was a fun episode. Looking forward to the storm after the calm. It's over. It's over. All right. Well, make sure you go check out the latest new film review coming up next week, and that is Kanga Man 2, Kanga Strikes Back with Joey. So do your thing, Terry. I've embarrassed you enough.
Sit and spin.